John 8:32. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And the truth is, no matter who you are, no matter where you from, no matter what you're going through, God can bring you through it. So stand up and declare that you definitely gonna make it. And that ain't nothing but the truth, the whole truth, all truth. Yeah, that's right. And this is strong truth.
You're exactly where you're supposed to be. For the truth, that is what will set you free. You're stronger than what it seems. Be free, be who you're called to be. With you on this journey, you can make it. You can make it. It's just a lies and deception. It can be misleading. You can make it. You can make it. Just keep believing. Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? It's the one and only Strong Jones.
And Precious.
And we're here with today's episode of the Strong Truth Podcast, where we about to tell nothing but the truth,
The whole truth.
our truth, the strong truth. And today's episode is us finishing up the 50-50 gender war. We got two of the previous people who was on the episode, Sister Bree and Brother Wynton, with us, and we're gonna hop into it.
All right.
Pret.
So the last episodes that you guys saw was us kind of going through the motions or answering the question of what were your thoughts on the 50-50 situation, as well as what was your thoughts on, or what was your take on the gender war. And so we kind of dove into that to kind of elaborate, give our opinions about why we think there is such a disconnect with the genders. And so in this episode, we want to kind of, bring this thing full circle. We want to dive into some things that we might have heard in our session with the women or the session with the men, and so bring it together because we don't want to seem like we're just bickering or just bringing all this information without bringing it to a head and having some type of solution. So I guess I could start off with my very first question. Y'all ready?
What's going on, everybody? It's the one and only Strong Jones.
And Precious.
Hey, and before this video gets started, we need y'all to do us a favor. We need y'all to go and hit that like button,
Comment below
go subscribe,
and share this video. Also, make sure you hit that notification bell so that anytime we post, you get notified.
the strong way.
Sure. All right, bet. So my very first question is about so now what are our expectations, or what do we feel our expectations are contributing to the whole war or 50-50 situation? So my question is, what expectations do men and women often place on each other in relationships that are unrealistic, unfair, or unspoken?
Ladies first.
I feel like women a lot of times feel as though men are supposed to take care of everything, whether it's financially, mainly financially. They feel like it starts with finances and then it trickles down from there. And I feel like a big expectation that men put on women are that we're just supposed to cook and clean
and
take care of the kid.
We cannot forget that one now. But
yeah, that's it. Like, it's just like the bare minimum.
Yes.
Or what they were raised upon, or what they think we're supposed to do. And sometimes those expectations is what leads to failed relationships, because you put such high expectations on people without knowing their background or where they came from. We may have been raised differently. But yeah.
I think that's really good. Because even with what you just ended with saying that we may have been raised differently. So you might put an unrealistic expectation on me that I have no background on. So you expected me to be like your mother or your grandmother even, you know what I'm saying, who lived a totally different life than me. And so you're expecting me to create this lifestyle that don't necessarily mimic that. And so that's unrealistic and it's unfair. You know what I'm saying? And so I think what the coolest thing is in creating, especially relationships with people, is creating y'all own everything. Yeah. I think that's the coolest thing. And that doesn't mean that you have to create, because I know you have a son, all of you guys, you have kids and then your wife has a son. And so it's kind of like, that doesn't mean, because for the most part, a lot of people have kids, right? So it's not to say, oh, well, I can't be with them because they have kids. Now, if that's not your truth, then that's just not your truth. It's mine. But you get what I'm saying? Because I don't have children. So it's just like, you can't expect people to uphold this standard that you have if that's not honestly even what they want, or they don't have that same background as you. So I think that's something that we should kind of consider when it relates to having these expectations on the opposite sex. Go ahead, me and next.
I actually agree with Bree. One thing that I just add is one thing I add. I think that there is a unrealistic expectation from the guy. In addition to what you said, was there's some women that want the guy to do everything, but they also not bring anything to the table. Like they want to sit back and just enjoy the fruits of his labor. They're just. And I always say, what's for your house, works for your house. But, just in the overall scheme of things, there's some, and you see it a lot on social media where, she just wants him to bring in the money. She do whatever she want without even trying to contribute in any kind of form, not necessarily financially, but even morally, emotionally, some kind of support to help him, compensate for that. And it's one-sided, I guess, for lack of better terms. It's about what benefits me versus what actually benefits us. It's more selfish, I guess is what I'm trying to say, which is unrealistic.
I think too, have you guys ever experienced, as being believers, have you ever experienced someone else interpreting your relationship with God as almost like unrealistic for them? As like your expectations, like as a woman, I'm not gonna, be sexual until marriage. Or I don't want to shack up, or just different expectations or standards that you may have as a believer, whether it's women or men. Do you feel like someone who may not be where you are spiritually could also feel like you have this expectation for me to uphold this standard that you uphold for yourself? Do you feel like that could fall under the same category?
Yeah. Yeah. I would say from just personal experience, that was actually probably one of the mistakes that I actually made in my marriage. Was that I had this idea of what I wanted my wife to be, how to dress, how to this and this, like based off this person that make the influence that I saw, and then it just kind of like that. But I realized that wasn't their walk, that wasn't their ministry per se. And I think having that misguided expectation was one of the things that kind of maybe sowed the seeds of it not working in the end. Not saying that was the end all be all, but it was just something I realized later on was like, I can't expect this person to be that person. They're themselves.
So would you say that like you paid more attention to the potential of what a person could be than what they actually were? That makes sense.
Your question makes sense. I wouldn't say that was this case. I just think there's no handbook to life outside the Bible, right? There's also no handbook to marriage. I mean, you get advice, you can get wisdom from other people, but at the end of the day, you walking it out, you figuring it out one day at a time. So even in that, I think it was just one of those. It was just something to learn. It was a lesson. And that you can't make somebody be something that they're not, even though, even what you're saying, it may not be, anything negative, or you're not wishing anything bad. It's just like, oh, I see this couple, I see how they operate, I like how they do this. Ooh, let's try to be like them without really knowing the backstory of what made them who they are. And I think that's what it was. So it went from kind of, I guess you could say, that influence or inspiration to try to be like, versus living your own truth, your own life, and developing that on your own.
Y'all know what I just thought about? Do y'all feel like, because I'm real big on, I feel like the enemy, he's so unoriginal. That's just what I feel. He's so unoriginal. So do y'all feel like the 50-50 thing is like worldly? Like, do you feel like the 50-50 thing is like a tactic from the enemy to keep us like bickering or like separated or divided or whatever? Like, where did 50-50 come from? Like, how did this even become a thing?
I definitely feel like it's of the world because what the enemy come to do, kill, steal, destroy. So 50-50 is doing a lot of, like, even in itself, it's not saying we whole. It's not saying we're one. It's you do your amount, your 50% side, I do my 50% side, whatever percent you want to do. Like, it's division in itself. You feel me? So, like, it's definitely already, like, it's of the world. Like, it. Because if me personally, and what the Bible say, when you and a person come, y'all become one. Like, so it should be it just should be 100%. You feel me? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I feel like it's of the world.
And to me, when you think 50-50, I think it will eventually like leak out into other areas because again, we for the most part we associate it with money. But then we all say, well, they don't think about the other components that it takes to even uphold like a relationship or whatever the case is. So it almost seems like they make it in other areas seem like you don't have to give your all. You don't have to give. So to me, I'm kind of like, dang, so I run straight up to this particular line and then I just stop? Do I just, I go hard for this long and then I just stop? Like, how do we even get there to a 50-50? Like, you need this person, need this person, need this person. Oh, but it's 50, so I got to pull back. Like, how do we, like, I think that is even maybe one part to relationships failing because we're not looking at relationships as a partnership. We're looking, we're looking at it as a job and even like
I even heard people say like marriages and relationship is a business.
I've heard that before.
I have heard that.
I've heard that before.
Because there's investments. If you think about it, you got money coming in, money going out, time being invested, time given out, kids are being produced. Like, you know, it people operate it like it's a business, but even in a business, we all got to come to some type of agreement. We still move as one unit.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that first in ingredients, I do think is a plot of the enemy. I feel like as believers, in general, I feel like God math doesn't work the way worldly math works. We serve a God of multiplication. You know, feed thousands with 2 fish, 5 loaves. You know what I mean? Create a whole world in 6 days. The numbers don't add up intentionally. We serve a God who literally made the sun stand. What time stand still? The sun stand still, something like that. It doesn't follow the natural. It doesn't follow the natural rules. So even with that, 50-50 doesn't exist. It's 100-100 that produces another 100. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to bring you 100% of what I have today. I may be at 50% capacity, but I'm going to give you the best of what I have, though. And that's what I'm going to bring to the table. That's not me bringing 50. It's still me bringing that 100. And she brings that same thing. And where one person lacks, okay, we'll meet the difference, but it's still going towards another 100. Like, to me, 50-50 don't exist.
Yeah. I just think earlier, Minister Carr mentioned, or I can't remember, one of the ladies just talked about communication. We lack effective communication. And so ultimately, we also skip dating intentionally. And when we talked earlier, and I was kind of like, you know, they have this expectation of, we got to test the car before we drive it, and I got to see the performance before I pursue or commit or whatever the case is. And it's kind of like sometimes, you know, we're as individuals, as humans, we're being treated not as value, you know, and so it's diminishing the value of partnership, of love, of companionship and stuff like that. And so I think that if we kind of come to this means of the importance of dating, where we get to know people first. You know what I'm saying? Like, have conversation. And I think, because you said earlier, if we can't have a decent intellectual conversation, like, what are we even talking about? Like, let's get back to communicating and going out on dates and seeing if this person is fun and talking about backgrounds and stuff like that. Like, we are getting even away from being decent human beings to where people can't open up, people can't communicate, people can't even experience the chivalry and all the things, because we just throw out dating and being intentional and seeing people for people. It's weird.
You know, you just triggered a thought.
Me too.
Okay, well, good.
Like, even because, you know, basically, if I'm understanding you correctly, putting the appropriate time in to really get to know somebody for who they are. Because everybody knows when you first meet somebody, you're meeting a representative. You're not really meeting them for who they are. You know, they're going to put their best foot forward. You know what I mean? They ain't going to let you see the flaws and stuff like that. And it reminded me of my job interview. When I got the job I got now, my boss took me to Applebee's. But we not to eat. All we did was go to Applebee's and just chop it up. He didn't ask me no weird questions. Nothing at all. And his whole thing was, after the fact he told me, he was like, I want to see how you interacted with the waitress. Because how you interact with the waitress is how you interact with our customers. Lucky for him, I work in a restaurant, so I have a certain level of grace towards any restaurant workers. But I say that to say, even when it comes to dating, we talked about it, dating guys, dating with discernment. And also just dating with intentionality. And there are some things like you have to see character. You have to, but in order to see a person's character, that takes time. That's not nothing you see on the first, the first situation or the first little movie night or something like that. We just live in a society where everything's so microwave. Yeah. Everything's so microwave that we forget that some stuff just tastes better in the crock pot. And sometimes it tastes better when you reheat the next day. Like that leftovers taste better than but I said it takes time. And I think we live in a world that's so go. So we gotta have it now. Everything in a hurry. Right. There's shortcuts to everything, and and you can't take that mentality with, especially if you're talking about dating to marry. You can't take the quick way. The quick approach to something that's going to last a lifetime. And I think that's kind of where the world we have to re-engineer our minds to not think the way the world thinks, because this is one of those things where, no, you can't. It's a crop. I can't think of nothing but a crock pot in the microwave. Like, think about, even with AI, it's making everything easy now. Like, everything's at the exactly. Like,
but go ahead. Go ahead.
I kind of got a question because what Wynton said and what you said, like, when you made the comment basically about, let's get back to just being human beings, basically, like, in dating. What, like, are there expectations on even dating, or what does a date require, like, to y'all? Like, let's get there. Like, let's get to the basis of even dating, like the starting point. You feel me?
I think it's, in a way, levels to it. It's definitely, I think, honestly, we made everything so aesthetic. Let's just keep it a bean. Everything got to be so cute, so over the top. Like, go back to the simple things. Like Carlos said it earlier. Like, we've gotten away from just the simple things. Like, I was sitting with a friend a couple weeks ago because there was a death in the family, and all we did was literally sit there and look at. I like looking at the clouds. We just sat there and looked at the clouds, and I said, "Oh, that's like a giraffe." So then they had to see if just simple things like that, and then it got into conversation. Look at the like simple things, y'all. You can literally take a walk in the park. You can literally just have a little picnic, but see, the new generation or whatever, they not monetize, but they materialize everything. And so, no, you need to take me to Roof Chris. I've never even been to Roof Chris. You got to take me here, and you got to do this, and you got to do all of that. That stuff can come later. I don't even know who you are. I don't even know if you what your heart posture is. Do you even truly deserve this? Because in my dating years or whatever the case is, I've met some really good men who've encountered some women who was on the floor. And I was like, wow, you did this and that, and they didn't appreciate that. And so I think that we just got to get back to the simple things. You can take me. We can go get something to eat. We can go bowl. We can go skate. We can go to the park. We can go look at clouds and stars. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on the individual. But first, you need to have conversation. You have to have conversation. You got to ask questions, and you can't be mad. You can't be scared to answer the questions. How else I'm supposed to get to know you if I don't know you, but you want to date me? You want to take me on a date? Come on, mama gonna want to know who I'm at and who I'm with.
And
And
I
then
sure can't tell mom. I
You know what I'm
what you
saying?
say your name?
Who your people
What's
is?
your mama name?
Yes, and yes, I'm old. Yes, I'm good and grown. But at the
But
end of the
I
day,
still- yeah.
I have parents
My
that
daddy
love
don't
me
play.
and care. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what I say. Get back to the basics. Learn how to communicate. First of all, let's have some good conversations, and then we'll talk about a little day to day after that.
I think just in that same vein, man, I feel like every relationship should have a foundation of a solid friendship. Like just something that simple. Like
Have
just
fun.
be friends
Yeah.
and see how things go. And if it grows from there, cool. If not, you made another friend. Like
Yeah. Flee from sexual immorality. You can't get to know somebody.
trying to smash.
You know what I'm saying? It clouds everything. Just be friends, not friends with benefits. Not like just seriously, just be friends and just have fun. Like just have fun with your person. Because once y'all know how it is, once you start getting intimate in certain ways, now your emotions here and there, they ain't text back in 2 minutes. Now you like, oh Lord, what they doing? You know, or they ain't text back in 2 hours. Dang, they was sleep and now you mad who you was. It's too much. Like just literally, like he said, just be friends and have fun and like see where it goes. But stop trying to stick and jive all the time and just enjoy each other. That's what I say.
I mean, I completely agree because I'm in that phase right now with dating. Everybody's like, what are you looking for? And I'm like, I'm not going to lie to you. We can be friends. If it goes further than that, then great. But I stopped actually telling people, oh, I want this in 2 years, and then 5 years I see this, and then this is that and the third. And the guys are like, oh, well, not really looking for that. Okay, cool. But I am. So, you know, you can still set expectations, but I feel like those expectations should be for yourself and not, you don't put them on somebody else. Like, if you know what you want, then you go for that. But you don't tell a guy, like, you don't just meet somebody and say, in 5 years, we need to be married. No, in 5 years, you want to be married. I might not want to, you know? And just like you were saying about, like, people that have kids, like, dating people that don't. I don't get offended when guys tell me they don't date women that have kids. I respect that because you're not going to know how to deal with me and my time because I have a child. Somebody that does have kids, that's around their kids, is going to understand Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm not free. Maybe Thursday, Friday, definitely Saturday. Like, I don't have to explain to you why you text me and I'm not texting back because I'm getting my son ready for bed. You know, that's a lot of people, they don't understand that, but that's, first of all, I guess you could say unequally yoked because we ain't supposed to be dealing with each other because we can't even relate on anything. But if a conversation is not had and you don't outright just say this is that and the third, then how's a person supposed to know what you have going on if y'all don't even talk about it? That's what arguments come in. Because we're quick to say, oh, I did tell you. And I said for the women, we quick, I did tell you. And the guys will say, no, you didn't. You probably said something around it, but you didn't actually hit on what you wanted or what you needed. And that's just learning communication with each other. It really is.
I think
Yeah, I definitely got a question. 'Cause I want her to elaborate on
I think I
something.
know. Go ahead. I know where you finna go.
So when you said the thing about basically like say a person got a kid and a person don't, you feel like that's not equally yoked or
No, okay, so
or are you just saying basically like if you don't got a kid, and you're not saying everybody, but and correct me if I'm wrong, but most people won't understand like if you ain't got no kid, you don't understand a person that got a kid when it comes to doing like parent duties and stuff.
and yeah.
Okay.
From my experience, I have now there have been some guys that are like, no, I understand, but that's because they may have like siblings, you know, younger siblings, maybe they raised or something. But I'm not gonna say everybody is the same. But in this generation, there are a lot of guys that are like, I just don't want to deal with a female that has kids, and it doesn't have anything to do with the child. That's the thing. Majority of the time, it's because of the baby's father not being completely out of the picture. So there's a conflict there. So when I meet guys, I tell them upright, like, I don't need to talk to my son's father. I don't know where he is, so he's not a problem. And they're like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. Then I don't have to worry about that. But it's the back and forth, trying to figure out like if we go out to eat, is he gonna pop out the bushes? Like, is that like that's seriously like a
sorry.
big
I get you.
thing?
Yeah.
It is.
No, for
Like,
sure,
No, that's real.
they're really
That's
worried
a real
about it
thing.
because people say, "Oh no, I don't talk to my baby daddy
That's a
anymore,"
real thing.
and then you come outside and your car's gone. You don't know where it went.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, a lot of the times they just don't. And honestly, it's not even really the men, surprisingly. It's a lot of women that don't have kids. Like, I know you don't have kids, but not speaking in general, but there's a lot of women that don't have kids that won't date men that have kids, and it's the same reason.
I
It's a
agree.
baby mama situation.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
can agree.
like, again, that drops back to
Cause these folks,
communication.
a lot of them baby mama, baby daddy folks, they still be dealing
And
with
I'm
each
not
other.
gonna lie to
Like,
you. When I talk to guys and they say they have kids, I'm like, how old?
Yeah.
They say one, I'm like, Is there like another number after the one, or there's just one? They're like one. Like I talked to this one guy. He was like, "Yeah, I just had a 3-month-old," and I'm like, "I'm good," cause she ain't all the way out.
Yeah.
She no, it's a possibility they could drop back, but like 7, 8. Not saying that they couldn't go back at 7, 8, but I probably had a better chance of not. But then after I asked, then I go further in, like, how is the relationship? Are y'all cool? Like, what is it? Like, let me know, because eventually we're gonna have to get there.
Yeah.
So you might as well go ahead and let me know now, so we don't even waste time down the line of trying to be together. And then I find out y'all would never not together. Communication.
There is, even in that dynamic, and the reason I would say through experience is why I have that that desire, if you will. I've always been that person who said that I would not date anyone with a kid. But then I saw myself in that situation, and then it was like, oh, I for sure don't want to date anybody with a kid. It's a lot of different reasons, and it's not just the child's mom at all. It's something deeper for me as to why I don't want to. And so my question, to even go back to the gender war. So what I do notice a lot is that there seems to be a war between parents, and especially in the dynamic of co-parenting. In a lot of cases, because I have witnessed there being some good co-parenting situations. Now, we've already kind of discussed dating, the intentionality of dating. So why do you guys feel that if you've gone through the stage of dating, and most situations, birthing kids is not necessarily a relationship, but we just talking about in a relationship. So why do you guys think that there's such a battle or a war between that dynamic, where y'all were in a relationship and y'all had a child, and so maybe y'all progressed? I'm not sure. Whatever that dynamic is, like, why it always seems like
The baby
there's
daddy versus baby mama.
yes.
I feel like a lot of that comes from my emotions and everything are not the same after I have a child.
Okay.
Okay, I might have been like, some stuff could have rolled off my back before the baby, but they always say you really see who a person is while you're pregnant, irregardless if that's a relationship, your family. Like, that's when you usually find out. But it does put a toll on the man too, because it's like, it's nothing really physically they can do to help you through this process. You have to carry that baby.
Yeah.
It's a mental thing for both parts. Again, it still falls back to communication.
Okay.
A lot of people don't even have the conversation afterwards. They're just, oh, well, I gotta wait. Postpartum depression. The women go through that. Men go through that too.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that we go through, they go through it via us.
I'm so glad you said that.
So they still have to deal with it. But we're so stuck on, I don't feel like getting out of bed today. This is that and the third. I'm going through this. Okay, but your energy, you're pushing it off. So he's catching that. And then you're expecting him to still be strong for you, but he's there for you, but who's there for him? So that's that problem. And then again, there's not an actual conversation about after the baby gets here, then what? It's always, well, when we get here, when the baby gets here, we'll figure it out.
Hey, well, I got a question with that, Ree, because I love that. Like, as a woman, you took accountability for a woman. So, but since we're trying to find a solution, and I know this episode ain't gonna be the end all be out, but we can help where we can help.
Yeah.
When a woman's in that space, to help the men who's dealing with that, what could men do to help women in that like, in your opinion, what do you think men could do to help, like, bridge that communication, or just what we could do on our part? And then Wynton, I want to ask you the same question, but what do you think we need to do as a man to help women in that, so we're not having that breakdown no more? Reading go
I
first.
want to say, you gonna let me talk? You need to go. I know, like for me, when I went through it, I didn't have my son's father, but I had my dad. And some people say it's not the same, but that's still a male figure that's there with me all day, every day. He got to go get my food. He got to do all this. And he would literally sit down with me and like talk and say, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? Like, what can I do to help? And instead of me lashing out, because I recognized that he wanted to help, he wasn't just doing it so I would stop yelling. We always hear the thing, people always say, you talk, you don't listen to comprehend, you listen so you can respond again.
Yeah.
But are you actually listening to what I'm saying? And then I'm going to give you a chance to talk, and I'm going to listen to you. I do it when I teach. I can teach all day. And in medical, they use what they call a teach-back method, which is when I tell you something, you're going to repeat what I said back to me in your words so I know you understood what I said. Mm-hmm. My dad does that a lot. If I tell him something, he's not, while I'm talking, he's listening. And then he'll say, okay, this is that and the third. In relationships, I feel like we need to practice that. Because we so quick to just be sitting there and y'all be talking, we be like, I heard what he said. But you said this is that and the third. We good?
She just let us know that we're at 30 minutes.
Okay. But we'll be like, you said this is that and the third. Like, we hear what we want to hear. Okay? That's on both sides. We hear what we want to hear, especially if there's an argument. But just listening and understanding, and then being comfortable in telling us how the situation is making you all feel, so we can work it out together, instead of just, babe, what's wrong? And we go on for a whole hour. And because now you've taken on my problems with your problems, and now you're sitting there like, dang, I don't even know if I want to say nothing to her. So we'll try to get tomorrow.
It's I want to go ahead.
Go ahead, friend.
I think it's a case by case thing too. Like my situation was different. When my child was born, me and my ex-wife were married. And yeah, she went through postpartum and stuff like that. But even during the pregnancy, like it was a me thing. Like I went to every appointment. I made a point to go, oh, we doing what? I'm there. You know what I mean? So after Michaela was born, still I kind of kept that same mentality. But there is something, and I'm glad you acknowledge that guys also go through postpartum. But there's an extent, like when you see her from a male's perspective, going through what she's going through, and you know there's absolutely nothing. Even like she's already carried the child, and you couldn't do nothing to help that. And now she's dealing with whatever she's dealing with psychologically, emotionally, hormones are off and everything. And you sit there and you literally feel like you can't do nothing. You feel helpless. But even in that, you're dealing with your situation as to how you're trying to rationalize in your mind, like, dog, I'm a father now, and I have to figure out how to take care of this small human being that did not come with instructions. None of that. And you're dealing with your own, your own stuff, but you took yourself to the side. And I think the biggest thing, most importantly, is communication, but also understanding that men and women communicate differently.
Yeah.
And I think there's a book I read. It was Women Are Like Spaghetti, Men Are Like Waffles.
Okay.
And basically, women are really good. Women are really good at multitasking. Like they can focus on many different things. Like we think about noodles, pasta noodles.
Okay.
Men, we compartmentalize.
Because you have decisions.
So we're just like, we're very, okay, do this, do this, do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but with that, I think the communication has to come from perspective, realizing that men and women, we speak different languages. So hypothetically speaking, she could be lashing out at him because she asked him to do this, but in her brain, she's like, she already got the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, got to do this, do that, do this, do this. And he's just like, all right, I'm going to focus on this one task first. When I get done with this, then I can move to this. And now from her perspective, he ain't moving fast enough.
He's just trying to get that done so he don't mess that up and move to something
Exactly.
else.
So I think their takes is not only having that open line of communication, asking each other, but also realizing like, okay, how does this person understand what I just asked of them, or vice versa. I think it's realizing like you low key need a translator. And then also don't be afraid to ask for help from an outside trusted source. You know what I mean? Like there's been times where I think sometimes not saying you gotta put everybody in your business, you know what I'm saying? But you got like that one trusted couple, whatever. Because as a parent, you're not the only ones that's went through that. So it's funny that, you know, maybe you got from my perspective, maybe I got like an older female friend or somebody in my life that I can say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. She's saying this and this and that every time. And she can translate that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what she's trying to say is, and that helps. But I think sometimes we try to figure, you know, what happened in my house, stay in my house. And we kind of don't reach out. And that causes it makes the problem even worse.
Yeah.
But I do think communication and understanding is definitely the key.
So, you got something? Right,
You can go ahead.
So, do y'all think, just say with dating, how important do y'all think it is to go to therapy with a person you're trying to either, it's kind of going to be threefold, like
Yeah.
a person who is, one, you're trying to date, maybe even a person that y'all have dated and y'all broken up, but y'all just trying to navigate through life, like, it's like, what y'all
Together?
think
You
about
saying
that?
go together if y'all
Yeah,
both-
like
okay.
I have heard people say like they have went like to therapy with
As a date, like
no, not even as a date, like with their baby
When they
mama,
break
baby daddy type thing. They like just to try to
Yeah.
because they it's like okay, we got a child and we got to try to make
Yeah,
this
we gotta
work.
figure out something.
But yeah, we got to figure it
Yeah.
out cause
Yeah.
for the child, but we can't stand each other guts. Like you feel me?
I feel like, honestly, I don't know about everybody else, but I would be open to it because I'm in therapy myself. I just recently got in therapy, so, and I don't mind telling guys when I'm dating. I'm like, yeah, so I got therapy tomorrow, and they're like, I'm like, I'm not crazy. I'm just having problems like dealing with grief properly. So, but that's like a stigma. Like as soon as you hear therapy, everybody's like, "Oh, you crazy? You taking pills?" And it's like, no, I need somebody to talk to, like to get it off of me. You know, I do feel like it's very important that we as one need to go. If it's needed, we definitely need to go. It's okay to go to therapy. A lot of people try to wait till it's time for a divorce. Like I was sitting here joking with him, like we look like a married couple sitting over there arguing. But it's a real thing. Like
It's a real thing.
as soon as we try to get a divorce, what they say, oh, y'all need to go to couples therapy. But don't they say you're supposed to do therapy before or counseling, any marriage counseling
think
before you
before.
get married?
Premarital.
Oh,
You supposed
and
to.
postmarital.
And
postmarital.
during,
Oh, and
like, too,
postmarital?
yeah.
So it's like,
Okay.
why are we waiting till we get locked in like that? We're about to get locked in. Why don't we back it up to the beginning
Come on.
when we're dating so we can handle that before we get here? And we ain't sitting there like, you ain't told me your grandma did this, is that, and the third. Now you're finding out more stuff about the person you finna marry. Y'all
Yep.
get married in 2 weeks.
Yep. No, I agree. My
So-
last, go ahead.
No, you good. You
No,
good.
that's kind of how it was in my last relationship. We ended up, I guess we called it premarital. You know, we actually called it that, and we went to a couple sessions, and I thought it was cool. Like the first one, you know, I think he was a little apprehensive about, but then the second one, like we were both kind of excited about going. And so it was shortly lived, but I thought it was so cool. And now I feel that I have to do that. Like, I just have to do that. Like, because I'm so intentional about figuring out my future, if that makes sense. I guess that's what you were saying, you know?
Yeah.
And I just want to be so intentional about it. And I'm not afraid to let people go. I'm not afraid to get muddy either, because I think what there's another thing that happens is people think that you just gonna find your person, they're gonna know Jesus already, they just gonna be holier than thou, they're gonna have it all together, they're gonna go to church. Like, honestly, as a believer, that's what they think, that's what they portray your relationships as, like what they have to look like. They just have to be the most perfect thing. And that's not always true. Like some people may just find their person and their person is so rooted and grounded and so this, that, and the third. But then you have some relationships where Jesus' hand is so deep off in it that there's a whole transformation where things like start one way, but then God just does his thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's like, well, I want to be intentional with keeping God in it, you know what I'm saying? And allowing him to remove or allowing him to coast it or whatever the case is. And so I think that with therapy, it'll give that outlet where we can communicate. We learn how to communicate if we don't already have those skills. We learn about each other. And sometimes too, that therapy can be a great way for you to dig deep and learn more. Like you might even have, hey mom, in therapy we learn what y'all used to do or how this happened for you. Like it'll even, you think it's just helping y'all, but it end up helping other things. Yeah. Generational curse breakers for sure. But I think it would be a really, really great thing for us to start doing it in dating.
I was gonna say first that huge proponent of therapy. But that was gonna be my answer. Like, I feel like before, and I'm not against it. Like, that's actually gave me a different frame of thought. But I feel like in order for me to be the best I can be for that particular person, I gotta be the best me. And if that requires therapy first, cool. Cause let me work on me first before I even bring her into the picture. Especially, but I've never even thought about like, and I try not to reference too much to the past. But I mean, before me and my ex-wife were married, we did, I guess you could say girlfriend, boyfriend counseling, and that elevated the premarital counseling. And then it went through postmarital counseling. Because I feel like with anything, you have your appointments, then you have your follow-ups, and then you have your checkups. So every now and then, it's just good to go back in there and check up. But now that I'm on this side of it, I will say that when we were going through our divorce, we did have a couples therapist that helped us walk through that. Her thing was at first it was to see if we can keep it going, So we did therapy to see if we could keep it going. But once we realized that, this is a decision that we're gonna make, she was like, "All right, well, I'm here for y'all. Whatever y'all need me to do.
Good.
So if it's gonna be like, y'all, I can help. We can do this, and this is help y'all be the best co-parents y'all can be." So it took kind of that turn. But like now, going into the next phase of life, I guess you can say, I hadn't really thought about it. Even to bring up if it's somebody that I'm interested in, and like, how about we sit down and talk to somebody? I never even thought about that. But I can see a little benefit though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I can only speak for myself. I think for me is and it may be something where I'm just thinking about my past experiences. Like, okay, I don't want to revisit the same thing.
Yeah,
so it's like because I did it before, and like, okay, maybe not, but there was also a lot of other variables in that makes it different. So I don't know. I just never thought about it that way, but that's actually that's something I can see that being. I can see that being beneficial.
I think it's it should be the norm. It was like before I got married, I like told my wife that was something that was very important to me. And one thing that I learned in there, like in premarital counsel, was like, and we did it with a married couple or whatever too. And the wife said something that was like pretty interesting to me, and I ain't ever think about it because as the man, you supposed to go talk to the father or whatever and ask for his daughter's hand. But she was like, go talk to the mom too. And I'm like, and my wife too was like, I ain't never heard that. So I was like, And I asked my wife, I was like, you want me to do that? And she was just like, nah, okay, I ain't never heard that either. But I said, you know what, I'm gonna try it. So when I did it, I'm glad I did because it let me learn something that I didn't know. Like the mom asked me some questions. It never crossed my mind that like the parent may have reserves. The parents may want to know something. Not that it's a bad thing. They just want to know what their child's getting into. And not only that, it also revealed to me things about my wife that like I never even thought about. Nothing bad. It's just like, oh, you know what? Like, you feel me? Because guess what? That parent know their child too. And that parent can probably tell you something that like you may not see it now, but down the line, it may come. You feel me? So I feel like going to therapy and stuff like that, you can go learn things that you wouldn't ever thought of, and it gives you another perspective because in anything, it's more than one perspective, and two things can be true at one time. Like your wife can be saying something, or not even your, not we ain't gonna say wife, just you in a relationship, you can see something. Y'all both in that same relationship, but y'all see it totally different ways. You feel me? So I think it's very important.
Earlier, cuz brought up Proverbs 31. And she stated how a lot of women feel like they're a Proverbs 31 woman.
I want to ask, that's the good, what's that, the good wife thing?
Oh, basically, yeah.
Okay.
Virtuous woman, all the things, and just being like that girl, basically. Like,
Proverbs 31. I don't know this.
Okay.
Proverbs
You
31.
gotta go read Proverbs 31.
But yes, in reading that, I kind of studied it a little bit the other day. And in reading that, I learned that it was King Lemuel. King Lemuel's mom was telling him, this is before you get to Proverbs 31 and what's the number that we supposed to be? Proverbs 31 and
For the good wife part.
it's the lower one. Proverbs 31 and it's some of the lower numbers, but anyway. So if you read up into Proverbs 31, before you get to I don't forgot whichever verse that it is that the women quote unquote want to be. What verse is that? Proverbs 31 and
Is it 10? Who can find a virtuous capable?
she is
more
worth more
precious
than
than rubies.
yes. Yep.
Verse 10.
Yep, 10 and all that there. Yep. You said 25? What 25 say?
It say 31, 25.
She is yeah, that too.
Virtuous woman is clothed with
That too.
dignity.
So let's I'm gonna unpack that real quick. And the reason why I'm saying that is because before we get into these partnerships and stuff, we have to be formed. Let's literally think about Adam and Eve. You know what I'm saying? And so we talk about relationships and we talk about having children and all of the things, but we literally have to go back to sometimes we're not even ready for all that stuff. Sometimes we're not ready to date. Sometimes we're not ready to parent. And so it's like, if we do slow down, in some instances, yes, we need to slow down. But in some instances, ain't no crock pot. It just is what it is. And it may not take as long as it might take others. But with intentionality, I feel that you will know sooner than you will if you just out here going with the flow, just vibing, just kicking it, just chilling. And so the reason why I brought up Proverbs 31, I read Proverbs 31 and 3, and it says, do not spend your strength on women. Your vigor, is that vigor? Your vigor on those who ruin kings. Now, this is King Lemuel's mom teaching him about what type of man to be so that you can be the best man before you want this virtuous woman. You want this Proverbs 31 and 10 or Proverbs 31 and 25 woman, but what type of man are you? It goes even into Proverbs 31, we'll read 4 through 7. It says, it is not for kings, Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, not for rulers to crave beer, lest they drink and forget what has been decreed. This is the NIV version. And deprived all the oppressed of their rights. Let beer be for those who are perishing, wine for those who are anguished. Let them drink and forget their poverty and remember their misery no more. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend and rights of the poor, needy. Now, after that, you go into Proverbs 31 and 10, which says, a wife of noble character who can find. So what that took me to was we have this thing that can women raise men, right? Can women raise men? And so this mom is teaching this king, because you know that kings have to show up a particular way. Mm-hmm. They have leadership, and they can't just show up. They can't just, you think of guys when they're dating and they say, we can't just take anybody home. We can't just take anybody around mama. So they have to make sure that the person that they're pursuing is worthy of being brought home around the family. So the reason why I say that is sometimes when we're in preparation of even dating or even getting out on the field, we talked about it. You got to think about self, right? And so we go into even thinking about parenting, even as moms. And what that looks like is, if we say and look at self and we're not ready for self, how are we going to be ready to parent? How are we going to be ready to instill all of the values, all of the things that they need in order to even be the best representation for that person they're supposed to be dating? And so I even say that because a good man isn't just to be present or to be reliable. They're to be dependable. Like, we can go out and grab any man. We can go out, or they can go out and grab any woman, but it's the value that these people possess. And so the reason why I brought up this verse is because we basically were just talking about therapy, dating, having children, you know what I'm saying? And trying to navigate all of those things. And so I think that ultimately it goes back, and I have a question, that's why I'm asking this. It all goes back to the formality of it all, which is, who are you internally? As a man, you want this particular woman. As a woman, you want this particular man. But what are you doing on the inside for yourself to get all of the things that you want? So my question is, do we think that the way you are raised dictates how you date, how you see love, and how you receive love?
Yes or no? To answer your question, I say yes and no. I think that that's kind of where we get that's our first impression. You know what I mean? Like, the environment we raised in, that's what we see is, I guess, the foundation in a sense. But you have to realize, you have to take it upon yourself to say, you know, if I saw fault in that, I make a conscious effort to be different. Mm-hmm. And that's why I say it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, I use this as an example. I got a friend of mine, they got married a year ago. And she messaged me the other day. She was like, how do you feel about names? Like, why do we have to change our names the way? I'm just like, and me personally, like, hey, to me, names is legacy. Like, I'm proud of my name. I'm proud of the people that came, whether it was perfect or imperfect. You know, like, hey, I'm a Brentley man. Like, I'm happy to be a Brentley man.
Come on, Brentley man.
But she made a good point, and she was just like, I guess for her and her husband's situations, both of their backgrounds, I guess, came attached with like trauma or just bad memories, and they wanted to set their own. They wanted to start their own legacy, so they legally changed their last name to a completely different name.
What?
And I'm just like,
You can do that,
right?
You can do that. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I'm just like, I've never heard that before, but I kind of understand it too. It was like, you know, you creating your own narrative from this point on. Mm-hmm. And I think that you can do that. Like I said, my mom and dad were married 61 years. You know what I mean? I would have loved to have that. But was it perfect? No, but I can take the good from that, you know, put that in my pocket, and then I can take the bad and realize, like, you know what? I'm going to make sure I don't do that. But some people they will use that and limit themselves and use it as an excuse. This is just how I am. This is how my mama did it. This is how my grandma did it. This is how my daddy did it. My granddaddy did it. So I'm going to do it this way versus, you know, maybe they did it wrong and maybe I can change that. So that's my take.
I always believed that way too because of my dad. He basically, the life he lived is total different life than his family lived. So I always believed that you create the life that you want, you know. So I can agree on that.
I feel like a lot of stuff that happens in childhood the truth doesn't come out until you become an adult. And so it kind of benefits us in our adult life when we are dating. Because when we're little, we just listen and we're like, okay, this is what's going on. This is what I'm told has been going on. When you get older and you start putting stuff together, you're like, wait a minute, no, I don't think you're supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. So I can say that I took some values or some things that I was raised around. But I know I said earlier when it was us, you guys heard me say that I don't yell and I don't argue because that's what I grew up around. So I never wanted my son to grow up around it because I know how that is. But some kind of way it still turns into not an argument, but it's like a very heated discussion. So that's because things have to be talked about.
Yeah.
Like I'm one of those people. Oh, they say you don't go to bed mad. We're not doing that. I don't care if you don't answer the phone. I'm gonna keep calling. We're gonna talk about it because one, I've been through a lot in my life. With different people I've dated, stuff has happened, and stuff was said, and then stuff has happened, and it's like now it's too late. I can't say I'm sorry. I can't fix it.
Yeah.
And like just recently with the people that I lost 3 family members in 1 month. So I'm very, very, very like, with people now. It's like I have the time, but I don't have the time to play. Because you literally be here right now and walk out the door, and it's the last time I see you. So again, that goes back to dating with intention because time is not promised. So if there is an issue, why don't we sit down and talk about it and get it right? If you have no intentions on dating me, why don't you go about your business so I can handle mine? It's turned into a game, almost. It's like what they said. Do they say women play chess, men play checkers? We always play chess. Like we always one step ahead of y'all. Is that what they say?
I don't know.
I heard that one right now.
But I've heard that, like, even with watching TV shows, I've heard that, like, they say women play chess, men play checkers.
We play
And
spades.
that's a problem too. It's still a game. But yeah, they say we make because with chess you have to make smart moves. Okay, that's what we do. If it's raining outside, they see it's raining outside, they just gonna go get a jacket and go out the door. Okay. If it's raining outside and we already thinking, okay, I can't go out the door because if it's probably cold out there, if I get wet and I'm gonna get sick, then we got to take kids out the door and they gonna get sick too. That's why when men do stuff, we get on to them and they're sitting there like,
Spaghetti.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is the problem? You took the kids outside, but they had on jackets, but it's cold. But they had on jackets, but it's cold in the like. Their mind doesn't. That's it.
One track.
But since we know that, why don't we feel in that missing? Like, because I've seen myself do that with like my exes. I'll tell them something. I'll be like, hey, babe, come here. Wait. This, and this. And then do this. And they be like, okay, got you.
But I can't raise a man, or I ain't teaching him that his mama should talk. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and we say that, but technically I'm not. Like, I just realized he heard what I said, but he probably missed it. There's a difference, and trust me, I have met some men that are still boys, okay? There's a difference in a boy and the man that may be missing this small little element right here, okay? That's just like, okay, since we're going to say we can't raise a man, why we get upset when men get mad because we can't cook?
Listen, I have no words.
Because we want them to change our tires, but we can't cook.
That made me pose a question, but go ahead, Bree. I'm gonna ask a question.
And see, this is what I run into on Facebook because everybody's like, "Oh, you so hard for the man, you so hard for the man." I'm like, because y'all so against them, one, and then two, I take accountability for myself. Y'all know how to do that.
She all right.
Like, I really know.
All day she has been
I
speaking
do.
accountability. Like
But
she
when I
has
get
been.
in real life, I take accountability. I tell my homegirls all the time, don't call me with your mess because the minute that you say something that you done, but he did, that's fine. But what did you do to cause that?
Right.
Because when I'm in relationships, I have no problem sitting down with my boyfriend and say, hey, I know I did this, that, and the third. We done took care of that. Now let's get to what you just did. That's the issue. So if we're going to talk about gender roles, if we're going to talk about the war is there's no accountability being taken. Because if you do something to me and I take accountability for myself, now it's on you. Know what you're going to do.
Gotta take accountability.
So, go ahead, Bree.
We so quick to not and just say them. But the minute a man says, well, you did, you don't talk to me, like, you don't tell. But you're telling me that it's okay for us to put them down, but they can't say nothing to us.
Right.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, friend.
No, I love accountability, like. But so tell me this, because it kind of goes too with the woman can't raise a man and the man can't I guess, quote unquote, raise it. You don't really hear that much about.
Not
about
really.
it. But I mean,
It's not as coming.
yeah, you don't hear it's coming. But do you think? Cause I hear this thing like when a woman tells a man or a man tells a woman how to be a real man or how to be a real woman, like how do y'all feel about that? Cause me personally, I don't really think, and this is my opinion, I don't think a man can really tell a woman how to really be a woman, and I don't think a woman can tell a man how to really be a man because we'll never truly be that. Like I could never be a woman, and the women can never be a man. And in that sense, like I can tell you what I think a real woman and the qualities of a real woman, should be in my view. But does that like how in the world can I tell you that? And that brings me to Titus 2. Where
That's
in Titus 2 it tells the older basically
woman
it tells the older woman to teach the younger women, and it tells the older men to teach the younger men, like because a man gonna truthfully know how to be a man. You like I can't tell a woman like how in the world it feels or everything that goes on with her menstruation cycle or a
Right.
period because I would never experience it.
Right.
Now I do know like shoot what it's they probably agitated, like they probably they want to be touched and all that stuff. It just everything aggravates. But I didn't even know what I'm finna throw, what it's called endometriosis. I didn't even know like that existed. You feel me? Because I'm not a woman. It took a woman that only a woman can go through that to tell me that. You feel me? Type thing. So, but how do y'all feel about like can a man really teach a woman? Well, how to say it?
Can a man teach a woman? Can a woman teach a man?
That's not
But
your
not-
natural build.
I think
Not really, but tell them can a man tell a woman what's a real woman, and can a woman tell a man, like vice versa, if that makes sense.
no. And first of all, it's subjective. It's because what my definition, even for me and you sitting here, we'll have a lot of stuff in common with how our perspective, what we think something should be like, but there's still gonna be some differences. I can't tell a woman. I got a daughter. I mean, I can raise her to the best of my abilities as a daddy, for her to grow up to be a young lady. But at some point, she gonna need another woman to tell her that. Like, there's some things I cannot teach her, and I don't feel like I'm qualified to tell a woman how to be a woman. But I also think that we have to check self accountability, check our expectations of what we think it should look like. Because I'm gonna use this example, right? I work in the automotive field, and I used to be real cynical about certain stuff, like working at a parts store, and you would see a girl, and let's just say her and her boyfriend come to the store. He in the car, she the one get out the car to get the stuff, right? Then you hear people like, man, that's a sorry dude, man. He got his woman doing this. Why he, why he ain't changing the tire? What kind of man don't know how to check the oil? Don't know, I'm saying that, and it hit me one day. It was just like, but who's to say he knew how? Exactly. Well, that's a sorry excuse. Like my thing, and so the mentality that I've taken now is like if I realize, because I realized like, I was blessed to have somebody in my life to teach me certain things. And then I have a natural, I always want to learn. I'm a big thing of learning. So I'm going to try to learn something new anyway, just because. But everybody don't have that. Everybody don't have those people in their lives. So I'm not going to sit here and talk bad about this guy, this complete stranger that I don't even know, because he's not checking oil in a vehicle, because maybe there was nobody in his life to teach him that. But guess what? If I just recognize the flaw, why can't I in this moment be like, hey, let me show you how to do this, so maybe next time you can do it yourself. You know what I mean? So I provide a solution to that. And I guess I say that to say that we have these preconceived notions of what a woman should do and what she's supposed to do and what she's supposed to know. And if she doesn't do those things that we have in our brain that we ain't even shared, because that's in our own personal delusion in a sense, that if they don't do all these things, that they're not a real woman. Like, who am I to say? Like, I'm not qualified to say that. I don't know what her life, what happened in her life to lead to where she is now. So who am I to tell her? Like, I don't know. I just feel like that answer for me is a hard no. I can't tell you that. Because we different.
I agree partially. I think that I don't know if I can say that either sex can say that the other sex is a real this or a real that, but I do think that a woman can teach both women and men qualities
Yeah.
like character and respect and faith and discipline, and those are qualities that a woman can teach any girl, any boy, and that a man can teach any girl, any boy. But the teaching is different because women are naturally nurturers. So those things are going to come out of a woman. But if you have a woman who's teaching a man, because what it seemed like King Lemuel's mom was teaching him was like, listen, son, don't, like, you have a certain statue about yourself. Like, you got to present yourself in a particular way because you can't be out here lit. You can't be out here because now your discernment is tampered with. Now your mind is not sober. Now what happens is, and we've done this in life where we out having a good time, we doing all the things, and then we hook up with somebody, and now we've gotten ourselves in situations that's long, like that we're in for the rest of our lives, and that's having children or something, or because that's obviously not everybody's story, or you hook up with this person who you end up dating for 5-6 years or for a long time that you really didn't have to because you weren't even in the right space spiritually to even be pursuing this person. And so that's what a mom can teach a son. A mom can teach a son that. Now you need a father to come in with those masculine attributes, that masculine energy that's going to teach him how to navigate as a man who's going to be a leader and lead by example. You need him to be able to show you how to be a man in real time, like how to treat women, how to talk to the woman, how to handle a woman, how to show chivalry. Like those are things that you need a man to do. So I can't necessarily say that, yes, a woman can tell a man how to be a real man, but she can give you some qualities that can help you like go into the right direction. But you need, I feel, you need both genders to teach both genders. Like we don't need women just teaching men by themselves. We need a man to come in and give that. If we give that 100 as a woman, we need that man to come 100% to kind of finish up that, and then we don't need a man just teaching a female, because now where is her femininity coming from, and so I think it's not about saying real this, real that. What's your character like? Do you even know how to treat people? Do you even know how to respect yourself, let alone somebody else? Like, I think that's what we kind of need to focus more on. We so ready to like nitpick at somebody else, but like, what type of attributes? What is your character like? What's your heart posture like? Who are you as a person? Like, I think that's what we need to focus so much on, and that's why there's a war, because you fail, you ain't enough, you don't do this, you don't. But what you do? What you know what I'm saying? What how you was just talking to the waitress? How you know what I'm saying? That's what we need to focus more on. Like, fix us. Like, be intentional about looking at the person in the mirror. Like, that's what we need to focus on. It's not about no real and fake. Real gonna recognize real every trip.
Come on. Go ahead.
No, it was just making me think. Like, I think that's also the importance of mentorship, or
in a village too.
Right, because we're talking in terms of, I guess, in the sense of dating, but everybody's not dating.
Right.
You got single mothers, you got single fathers. And I've just always said I wouldn't carry myself to where, for instance, I just met her son today, right? Sitting out there in the lobby area. And my thing is, never met him a day in my life. Don't know if I see him at the, you know what I'm saying? But I try to live my life in the sense to where somebody can say, you know what? I want to be like that man one day. I always try to just be that person. I always try to sow whatever kind of seeds of encouragement and any kind of kid. Now, I work with kids every week anyway, so this is kind of a passion of mine. But it's just, I always wanted to be that guy. I always wanted to be, if I can help the next person in some way, form, or fashion, even when it comes to women or little girls. Like, when I work on the car sometimes, my daughter, she right out there with me. But at the same, and this one is like, hey, I'm teaching you this because I don't want you to have to worry about it later on. But at the same time, if she doesn't, but let's just say, hypothetically speaking, such and such at the church, one thing I love that my pastor set in place is like, if we have women in need in the church, something they need grass cut, something like that, men in the church, let's step up and do it. And they ain't got to do nothing in return.
Yeah.
You know, nothing strange in return. Like, but that's
No,
also,
for sure.
but it's like, but that's teaching even like the younger ones, like, hey, there are men out here that's going to do that. Have enough self-respect to the point where, like, first of all, God, don't go soliciting. But at the same time, like, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, if people do this, you don't have to pay them back in this type of way.
Yeah.
And don't settle for something like that. And I think that comes from the perspective of whether I'm in your life long term or short term. It's those little seeds that we can sow along the way, just in general, just in passing. And I think that's part of that village that it's going to take. Because, like I said, I don't know everybody's dynamic. I don't know this one little kid that I was being nice to at Walmart, you know, just cutting up with. I don't know what he's going to when he get home. But he can at least say, I saw somebody today, and that could change his whole trajectory or something like that. That's true. I think that plays a role, whether we're in relationships or not. I think that's just common humanity. That's something we should just do. And I think that would help change that narrative of what's a real man, what's not, or what's a real woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree with what you said, Pret. Like, it takes both genders for both genders. Like, if you think about it, that's our makeup. We got a mom and we got a dad. Like, our whole dad is half of us. Our whole mom is half of us. And it took them to make, you know, to make a human being, whether, you know, we come out male or female or whatever. So, and even in the Bible, like, I said when I was talking to the man, in Genesis, it says when God created, he made them man, male and female.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so they're one. They're one. So it like in that sense too. So we you know, we need each other or whatever. And what I was basically getting out this whole, from listening to the episode, talking to the men there and listening, talking to y'all, like, the biggest breakdown I see with this, forget even 50-50, but just this male against female thing, and it just seems like the communication. Like, it seems like we need to learn how to communicate to each other. We need to learn, like, we need each other, obviously.
Yeah.
We need each other, but in areas where stuff get, you know, murky and all that stuff, it's like, how do we navigate through that? If we communicate with somebody what we wanted, like I heard Bree say earlier, like, we communicate with somebody from the start what we wanted or whatever, that's going to give the person the choice to deal with you or not. So guess what? If now that you communicate with me properly, now I know, you know what, I'm not going to deal with you. Now, a broken relationship and a broken home didn't just happen. Now that cycle didn't just start over again. People having children out of wedlock, people having, like, just, you know, baby dad's baby mama type thing. You get what I mean? Like, and it's just, when we communicate and then put down this wall and don't weaponize what's communicated, like, okay, I'm vulnerable right here because we are human. And the human race is not a male human race, a female human race. It's the human race.
Humanity, yeah.
You feel me? And so, I mean, we need each other. What you got, Pret?
I just wanted to say, too, I think that we should, like, respect each other. Like, respect each other's past, respect each other's upbringing. Like, just respect each other as individuals and as human. Because we can communicate all day. Of course, we need to be able to understand what they're trying to articulate. But, like, okay, boom, I respect that. Now what we gonna do? I respect that. Cool. Like, I think that the respect for the genders have gone out the window. For women, I feel there's been a lack of respect for the men because we feel like men aren't showing up as men anymore. And I think that for men, it's kind of like women aren't, I can't speak for y'all. I just speak for the women. I don't know where the respect lies in that sense. But honestly, I feel like in a lot of ways, men don't respect some women because they resent their mama.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, mama issues is definitely
it's a real life real thing. Yeah. For some,
I think most men have problem with women because they don't feel, and they go back to the communication thing. I don't think they feel heard. Like,
okay,
you feel me? And that could lead back. Yeah, it could stem to the mama. You feel me? Like, and especially if just say this, if he was raised by a single mama, which especially in the black community is more often than not, guess what? A woman is telling him what to do, how to do all the time. You feel me? And she may hit him with this right here. You just like your daddy. You feel me?
Yeah.
He's being told like to beat a man
Yeah.
is something in a like almost being
Like in a
bad.
bad-
Like,
yeah.
like in a bad sense.
he ain't
You
good,
feel
yeah.
me? So his foundation, his brain is automatically done, like from his start is already messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So how in the world do you expect this man when he get older, like, and nobody never came along and taught him, how you expect him to know once he do get a woman, like how to treat her, how to talk to her? Because you feel me, this was his example, whether she knew it or not.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like that's what he saw. And most men, and go back to communication, most men don't know how to say that this was my dynamic. And if they do, and I think this go back to, I'm saying, like, they don't feel hurt. If they do, they feel like it's weaponized once it comes about. You feel me? You don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I was never taught.
Yeah.
And now that we arguing, you just cut. Cause I'm more likely if he's more likely insecure about it.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
He's more likely, he probably never opened up to nobody in life about this. So then when that woman made him feel like in that space, that time when he opened up to her about it, it made him feel like, hey, you know what? Like I can trust her. But if she say, like, if she, I don't care how long it is, if he told her this 20-something years, she bring it up, that scar gonna be there forever.
Yeah.
And he'll probably never open up again.
I
Never.
actually had that happen with the ex, because the way I talk to y'all, that's how I talk, like in a relationship. I'm just as calm. And we were talking about something, and I knew I hit a nerve because when I said what I said, he was like, "What?" I said, "Did you not hear what I said?" And then I had to catch myself because I am a mom. So mama came out of me, and I'm like, "Okay, this is my boyfriend." So I knew I hit a nerve, but I knew we would come back to it because we were sitting outside around the fire talking. And I can't even remember what the conversation was, but it had something to do with mommy issues. And when I hit the nerve, he went in the house immediately. And so I was sitting, because first of all, I was sitting there like, I know this boy ain't just leave me out the door. I'm out here in the wild, and I keep hearing stuff in the woods and stuff.
Yeah.
So when I went inside, I went back there and said, "You left me outside. Did you not see me?" And so he came back in the room, and we actually sat and we talked, but we have a bad habit of doing the tit for tat thing.
Yeah, that's true.
And if I'm calm and you're irate, I don't need to match
Right.
your irateness.
Absolutely.
And you will be surprised if you keep that level with communication, how much it brings comfort, how much a man will actually talk, but they have to feel that. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's communication. It is understanding, but it's also your tone.
That's true.
They always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yep.
Because I can ask you, how was your day? Versus, how was your day? How was your day? Let you know that you finna tell me how your day was, but when I open my mouth and tell you about mine, it's going to be a time. But, and again, like he said something about sometimes we say stuff that'll trigger something else. It could just easily be like a phrase we may use that their mom may have used with them when they were younger, when they got in trouble. And then they're like, "Why you keep saying that?" Saying what? I just said, don't do that no more.
Yeah.
But the first thing I say is, "You ain't my mama. Don't be talking to me like your mama." I'm not your mother, but okay, I won't say it anymore.
Yeah.
I'll let that go. But when stuff like that happens to me, I take mental notes because I've been in a relationship where I didn't pay attention. And a lot of people don't talk about it with like domestic violence, abusive relationships. We don't pay attention to a lot of stuff until we get out.
Yeah.
And then once we get out of it, every time we see it, we're like, I know what that means. But that was one thing that my mom told me. She said, "Have you spoke to his mom?" And I was like, "No." She said, "You need to go talk to his mama." And I went to their house one day. We had literally just got in a fight. Lip was busted and everything. And she said, "Oh, he's beating you too." I said, "What'd you say?"
Yeah.
So he been doing this. She said, we don't have the best relationship because his father used to beat me and he used to try to help me and I used to tell him to leave me alone. I said, so you the reason why you said drag me down the stairs? So, you know, like, I'm sitting here thinking, but it was too late because I'm already in it.
Yeah.
But I knew not to say that to him because that would be a trigger. But if he would have told me and our relationship was okay, that would have triggered something and that would have diverted his personality immediately. In other words, if he would have let me know what his weakness was, we talked about that earlier, them telling us stuff and us flipping it. And then when they swing on us, we're like, wait a minute, don't do that. It's been sitting. And so somebody else had already triggered it and he didn't know how to cut it off. So he played the role because we talking about communication and being intentional. He came off like that. Perfect man, very, I want to do this. I want to do that. And then I'm getting drugged out of the bed by my throat. And I'm trying to figure out, excuse me, just that quick.
Yeah.
He said what he wanted because I had already told him what I didn't. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I already told him what I hadn't experienced. So he portrayed that long enough to get me in. And then the real him came out. So now I'm like, I don't even ask anymore. I pay attention to everything. How you talk to other people. How when people call you, if you're yelling at them on the phone, if you get irate about little things. I pay attention to that because I've been in that relationship and I've been in that situation. It has my senses are way, way, way more high right now for a lot of stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, you communicate, say what you need, like intentional, but act in discernment too. Because I can tell you all day what I want to do. Am I going to actually do it though?
That's good.
I like that because it's like, like, I'm not hearing you as a man. I'm watching you as a man. Like, and what that does, like, that allows the man to operate in the space of a man. Do what you're supposed to do. Lead. Act. Like, make a decision. You feel me? And then that I feel allows the woman to operate as a woman because now guess what? Okay, I can watch you. I see you doing this. I see you might can run to this wall right here. Now, let me go try to communicate. And you'll know even from trying to communicate, cause if he ain't gonna hear you, you already know he ain't gonna hear you. Like, you feel me? And then you'll know whether I need to keep trying or just you'll know you can't try, cause if you keep trying, it'd be an argument. But or you know that okay, he listened, he turned away, and I think that would let us understand. Like, and when I say us, I'm talking about people, period, male and female. Like, that let people understand like where they stand with folks. That let people understand like how I need to move, and that let me know what I need to deal with you or not. And we ain't back to this broken cycle, and now I ain't got a story about how like he did me or how she did me. You feel me? Because I paid attention, I operated in my capacity, and I worked on me. I worked on as a man, I worked on a man to learn how to lead this woman and my family in the way that I supposed to. And you know, the woman, I learned how to help this man in areas that he needed help in. You get what I mean? Like,
Right.
and whenever he bumped his head, I was there for him.
Right.
Cause one thing about men, we gonna bump our head.
Yeah.
Like we gonna tap that tater at some point in time.
No, for sure. For sure.
You know, and the thing about it, that's okay because guess what? You're leading. You're the first person to go down this path. You're the first person to navigate through this. You feel me? Like you may run into a wall.
Yeah.
So-
Because women aren't perfect either. So, yeah, for sure. Y'all bound to bump a little head, but we gonna be there to really.
Y'all run, slap the wall.
But this has been really good, y'all. And again, we could talk for days. We literally can talk for days. But for the sake of time, for sure, and other episodes that we have to record, this was good. But I do want each of us to leave one thing that we could take, or that the watchers could take to make sure they don't fall into this war. And if they've already been a part of the war, they have already been weaponizing women, or they've already been diminishing men, then it can encourage them to change that narrative, change the trajectory of the way that they look at it. What's one thing that y'all can leave them before we head out of here?
Listen to understand, not to respond.
Okay, listen to understand, not to respond. Brother Wynton, what you got?
I kind of said this in the last episode, but I'll say it again. Just like, we're not opponents. We're in this thing together. We're in life together. We're each other's sparring partners, not opponents. So even though it looks like we're fighting, we're not fighting to bring each other, to tear each other down. Sometimes we go through tough situations to help strengthen each other. So you have to take that mentality. So just change your way of thinking about life in general. Like, choose to be that change. You know, if we see these cycles that society is taking us to, choose to be different. So that's all I got.
No, that's good. You got somewhere you want me to go?
You
I
go.
would say, honestly, y'all, build a real relationship with God. And just try it God's way. Like both of y'all. Forgive whoever you need to forgive. And then start fresh, kind of like Wynton said. And try it God's way. And see how that turned out for you. That's what I got.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off that. Definitely try it God's way. And go to that mirror. Take accountability. Like, work on self first, complete self, and then meet at the table with whoever you're trying to meet with. Like, and definitely, like, with the mixture of God in that, like, y'all both meeting at the table, I believe you'll be complete, and we won't have war no more. We gonna come to the table and have that peace treaty and figure out how we move forward. I mean, that's it.
That's good, Strong. You know what I was literally sitting here saying? And y'all comment down below. Y'all might convince the host to make this, not a segment, but like a end.
Oh, let me go ahead and cut y'all.
Oh.
We definitely doing this again.
Okay,
we
okay,
definitely
okay.
doing this again. We looking right now. But you know, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
In the war type situation, like a little
it's
segment situation.
gonna be more often too. It's gonna be often too. Somebody actually threw me a cool idea. You wouldn't hear, Pret, but
Okay.
how we did it. You sat with the
women.
women.
Me sit with the men.
Yeah, and then you feel me type
That's
thing.
it. That's
So
it.
we definitely we finna
That'll be
get
dope.
to it. You
Okay.
feel me? Like,
That's really cool. Well, y'all heard it here first. So y'all make sure y'all comment down below and interact with us. Give us your opinions. Give us your ideas. And tell us some things that can help us with how we come with the next videos. Or comment down below so that anyone else who's reading the comments can be encouraged and motivated to change the way that they're looking at this whole gender situation and the 50-50 situation. So that's all we have here.
if you're interested in being in the next one, inbox. We're gonna be constantly looking. We're gonna constantly be choosing. Like, is this gonna happen often? So
Okay.
most definitely. Hold on though. Y'all tell the people how they can find y'all, because I'm pretty sure y'all have definitely helped people today, and they might want to reach out. You feel me? So y'all let the people know how to contact y'all.
Well, for me, just want to follow me or add me on Facebook. I mean, I'm not a stranger. I don't bite. You're going to get a ton of dad jokes, pictures of my daughter, and some church announcements. But I'm an easygoing person. But just Wynton Bradley, WYNTON BRA.
Truth is, you're so strong. Truth is, he won't lead you wrong. The strong truth, there's no lies. The strong truth will open up your eyes.
That's all we got for today, man. We out the strong way.
Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against thee shall prosper, and any tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. For this is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness of me, said the Lord. And again I say, no matter who you are, no matter where you from, no matter what you're going through, God can definitely bring you through it. You are strong enough, and that ain't nothing but the truth, the whole truth, our truth. Yeah, that's right. It's the strong truth.